2-0 night with Thursday night football at the side and the total under 42.5 bucks plus 10. That number went up a bit on us on the total, came back down a little bit, but we didn't need the extra points. Ended up getting there anyways. I think that's the fourth or fifth total that's gone up about a half a point more on us. And still, I think we're 4-1 on the ones where even we've gone the opposite direction. So continuing to kick the Sharps' ass in the NFL and NBA. No bets yesterday, but we got a lot of action out in the NBA today. Going to go through that card. Going to go through World Series Game 1 going on tonight and have a little college football free bet for you guys. John, how we doing? Things staying absolutely red hot.
Staying red hot is right. And talking about the total yesterday. So I've had guys that were in our chat and somebody's asking, the total's going against us. Don't worry. Just don't worry. So what happened, why the total went against us yesterday, early in the week, and I'm talking about very early, Thursday night football. So on Mondays, they don't actually have a practice, but the teams are asked to estimate. So they estimated Mayfield would not practice Monday, and with that, obviously, no quarterback, lines start dropping. When they say he's probable, which him and Godwin, they had them questionable all week. We know they're going to play all week. They get announced probable. The line goes back up. Guys, I'm not some fucking square just betting unders and just taking dogs. When there's a favorite there that we like a favorite, we'll bet the favorite. The under was the move. Tampa Bay shockingly scored. Look, we could have blown that game. There was a shot for that Hail Mary to drop in. Oh, yeah. Or the Bills got another lucky call, as they did with the Giants a couple of weeks ago when we had the Giants plus 2 touchdowns with another holding call. They literally sandwiched the guy on that Hail Mary. So another job of the referees swallowing the whistles with the good teams. But yeah, that game could have went over. But was there an edge with that game? What was it, 3-0 at the end of the first quarter? Yep. I like my under. You don't have to ask. If the lines are going to go against us, look, basketball season's here. We'll talk about some of the games and what we've done to the line today. But yeah, even in NBA, some games are going to go against us. Other sharp guys have other opinions. I'm going to stick with my opinion all the time. We back over 75% in the NFL so far, Ben, for the year.
Yep, right there at 75. So right there.
Don't worry about it. Stick with my opinion if I'm on it. It's not like, oh, shit, I missed something. This ain't happening. There's nothing that we missed, guys. And as like I says, we're going to talk about our first 5-unit love bet of the NBA season today. We bet it yesterday. And like I says, you'll get the idea. 99% of the time, line's going to move with us. Once in a while, an injury breaks against us. Something happens. Yeah, line's going to go against us over the course of the season. But don't panic. If you made your bet, just make your bet as soon as I send the notification.
Yeah, I'll even add on to that a little bit. If you go back to last NBA season, I think that was the last time we had a 5-unit NBA bet was back in the playoffs with the Lakers. That was an instance where the line did go against us, and you went above and beyond the 5-unit bet, took it on the money line, took it on the points, doubled up. That was the biggest bet of the 2023 year. That's the biggest bet I've seen you place in general was Lakers spread twice, Lakers money line. So even when the number does go against us, it's just increasing where we see an edge. And
as I told the guys in the chat yesterday, if the total was to hit 44, we were going to press that bet.
Yep.
While I was going to say other cappers, they're not cappers, while screen chasers, while guys that call themselves cappers are watching the movement. Okay. And when they're seeing the line go up and they're telling their members, their customers, bet over, the play is over, and that goes up to 44. I'm waiting for it to go up to 44 to get extra value for my money. So if it would hit 44, then I was going to press that unit. I'll press against the Sharps. Our first NBA game today, I guess the second game on the board, opened at a low number. This was a game I was looking at. It's gone up, up, and up. We're betting against all the money movement, and we'll talk more about that. But, yeah, I will bet against the other Sharps once I feel I got value. As Ben said, we've got a bunch of totals already so far this year. 1 week was 3 totals in the same weekend. The Sharps went over. I went under. I've got not only my own opinion, it's the best opinion. Mine are backed up by winners. not just talking about winners, okay? Like I said, guys out there that pretend to be handicappers, they're just watching the line move. We're making the line move.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody bets games football on Monday morning for the following week. Nobody bets NBA at noon the day prior to tip-off, but that's what we do. Why don't we get started, Ben, and show them what we're talking about?
Yeah, a lot to get into. Let's just start with the MLB here. Get it out of the way real quick. One game on the card, obviously. World Series game 1 tonight. The World Series matchup everyone had at the start of the year. D-backs and the Rangers.
Everybody had that.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty good pitching matchup for a game 1, though. Gallen versus Eovaldi. Got to like the matchup. Gallen had a little bit of a rough NLCS there against the Phillies. One of those on the road. He's had 4 playoff starts, 3 of them on the road, and on the season, electric at home. But even his 1 home start against the Phillies, pretty rough there. And 2 starts with the Rangers this year, decent, 4 runs, 11 innings, 17 Ks, 1 walk. And then Eovaldi, I mean, talk about a turnaround. He's known as a big game pitcher, and he has backed that up this postseason. Goes into the playoffs with a 9+ ERA in September, coming off the IL. Didn't look nearly what he was at the start of the year. And all he's done is 4 quality starts, 4-0, 2.42 ERA. In the ALCS, allowed 5 runs in 12 and a third, 13 Ks, 4 walks. Eovaldi definitely gets the pitching edge, how he's going here. But hey, new series, new at-bats here for Gallen. And any pitcher here in this moment can have a big game tonight. Gallen definitely has the stuff to get it done. Look at these 2 teams as the bats. I mean, Rangers bats absolutely on fire, scoring 5.9 runs per game, but a little bit of home struggles. Just 1-3 at home so far in the playoffs. D-back 6-2 on the road here, and you get a dog price here. Couple of good pitchers, couple of teams scrapping, fighting their way through the wild card, and they didn't know if they were going to be in the playoffs with 3 games left to go in the regular season. So this is a couple of scrappy teams, and you got to be looking at the dog money with a couple of scrappy teams.
Yeah, look, Eovaldi definitely gets the pitching edge. He's the better pitcher right now. And that's what we're always talking about right now. Right now, he's the better pitcher. But also right now, it's all about the road teams in the championship series. Both Arizona winds up splitting the 4 games that they played with at Philly. Prior to that, they won all 4 road games on their route as the wild card. Texas has not lost the road game still, but we're swept by the Astros 3 games at Texas. Eovaldi the better pitcher. Texas a little bit of a better team. The road team just keeps getting it done. Look, Gallen is an ace. Had a rough going against Philly, no question about it. Look for him to pitch a little bit better today. And value, guys. We took plus 149 on this one. With the World Series. Look, baseball, it's the World Series. Just like when football comes, it's the Super Bowl. That doesn't mean your bets get bigger. It's the end of the year. It's the same size. We're at the same 1 to 3 unit basically with baseball. It's a 1 unit bet for me, just a little bit of an edge with the road team Diamondbacks that have had so much success on the road.
Yeah, and D-backs in those last 2 games against the Phillies and really throughout the entire series against the Dodgers, they just took the home crowd out of it early. So if they can find a way to do that here, jump on Eovaldi early. I mean, Marte, the hottest bat in the playoffs right now, perhaps. So we'll see if they can pull that off. That is World Series Game 1. We'll see who we get there. And for later information on that series, you guys know where to sign up. Got a loaded NBA slate going on today. Massive card yet again like Wednesday. A lot of bets already out. So as of heading yesterday, 4 bets were set out by the afternoon. One as early as this time, really, yesterday. So if you guys aren't yet and you guys haven't seen the post on howtobeatthebookie.com, one common theme that's going to be throughout the NBA season is getting on these DraftKings lines early. You guys have probably heard us talk about it throughout the MLB season. We're going to talk about it a lot. And some of these lines already crushed. This first game on the card, though, Pistons at the Hornets. You have this Pistons team coming off a tight loss to Miami. They were down big, rallied back late. Cade Cunningham looked good in his first game back, 30 points, 9 dimes. Then you have this Hornets team who held Atlanta at 17% to 3. They pulled that out at home. Hornets really bad against the spread at home last season. They were the second worst against the spread team at home, 16-25. Second worst straight up, 13-28. We'll see what they get going here. And this is we had the under in that Pistons game. got to be worth a look here to the under again in this one. Just Pistons, when your bottom 2 teams scoring. Hornets last year, bottom 2 as far as field goal percentage. And the last 3 meetings going under here would be worth a look at the under.
Yeah, Charlotte can't shoot the ball, but they forced Trae Young and DeJounte Murray into a horrible shooting game in the first game to beat the Hawks in the first game. This game, right around where I make the number now, I'm looking like 3.5. Excuse me, on this number. Pistons, they fell back big to Miami. Miami's at Boston today, a little back, the Eastern Conference Finals rematch. So I just think Miami gets a little distracted in the second half after getting the big lead. Detroit plays a little catch up. Don't know if they're that good. We'll see which of these are. These are a couple of the lesser teams, non-playoff teams in the East. We'll see what they're made of today.
Then we have Nuggets at Memphis. Pretty good matchup. Obviously, Denver, reigning champs, best team in the NBA. Grizzlies missing a lot from last season. Obviously, Morant with the suspension. Adams out for the year. Kennard dealing with a concussion. He's out. They're still missing Clark. So you're missing some key pieces here for this Grizzlies team. And that's part of the reason this number went up so high earlier. Originally opened 2.5, climbed up as high as 6. You have Memphis, who had success in this matchup at home. Denver, as good as they were below 500 on the road last year. I mean, the entire Western Conference was really bad on the road. Memphis, they were just nothing but an NBA best, 35-6 straight up at home last season, 23-17-1 against the spread. Yes, this Grizzlies team completely different, but different Denver team traveling on the road, and they defend Jokic well. A lot of points here, John, for a Memphis team that's played them tough in Memphis.
Talked a little bit about this game yesterday. Nobody defends Jokic, at least last year, as good as the actually, I can't say that. Chicago Bulls were the only team that Jokic had a lower scoring average than he did. 15.3 points per game in his 3 games at Memphis. Jackson Jr. had a lot to do with that. That's the defensive player of the year. Memphis stays home. Denver comes back after their big opening night win against the Lakers. Traveled to Memphis. Half a dozen. It's a lot of points for a home team that had the best record or the second best record. Was it the best record or second best record in the NBA, home record in the NBA last year? And Grizzlies have won the last 3 meetings in Memphis with them. As I said, you get to hold the best player down. You're getting a half a dozen points at home. Nuggets not great on the road. Memphis really good at home. I know it's not the same Memphis team, but we're taking that plus 6 points with the home dog.
Then we have a nice young team, up-and-coming matchups here. Thunder at Cleveland. You have this Thunder team that just lit it up against the Bulls, crushed them by 20, shot 49% from 3, and that's everyone getting involved. You have 8 or more guys hitting 2 or more threes, so everyone's shooting there, everyone getting involved in the offense. Cleveland still banked up. You have Allen, who missed the first game. He remains out. Garland dealing with a little bit of a hammy issue. We'll see what's going on with him. He's questionable. Cavs team really good at home last year. Thunder really good on the road. Cavs have had success in this matchup. They split meetings last year, though, each winning at home. And it's a very under-trending matchup. Last 3 meetings going under 201.7 points per game. Looking back at the under in this one again, yes, OKC lit up Chicago, but Cleveland, really good defensive team. Obviously not as good without Jared Allen. And can only look at OKC in this one for me. This is one of the better road teams against the spread in the NBA. They are getting a lot more respect from the books this season. Prior years, we're not getting as much respect. That respect is there. So the value, not as much, but still wasn't so impressed with what I saw from Cleveland. I don't know if you can depend on what they got from Max Strus, the 27 points he gave in the debut. I don't think you're going to be seeing that every night. He is going to have nights where he gets hot and he gets going. But Cavs, without Garland, they're going to have to find a more steady answer offensively, and I don't know if they're going to have it. So this would be a lean to OKC, lean to the under for me in this matchup.
Yeah, look, they just got past the Nets on the road. Mitchell hits a 3-ball at the end of that game to carry it to victory. That's without Allen. Allen's a big piece of what they do. Cavs are playing back-to-back today and tomorrow. So some question, will Garland play today? Will he sit out today and play tomorrow? So we got to keep an eye on him. That's a big piece for them. Again, you're already missing one starter in Jared Allen. We said this the other day. We were waiting for that Garland info. If he would have been out, we would have been on the Nets. He played. We stayed off the game. And there it goes to show you it was a 1-point game at the end. So, yeah, all about Garland in this one. Line is right now at if Garland plays. So whether he's in or whether he's out, that's the move.
So we have a nice little Eastern Conference rivalry that's been cooking up the last couple of years. Knicks at Atlanta. Knicks, tough loss there against the Celtics, 108-104. First half was horrendous. Second half, they got going a little bit, but Brunson and Randall did not get going. 11 of 43 shooting. The other guys, though, they did step up, quickly stepped up. Barrett stepped up. If you can get the two big guns, Brunson and Randall, to get going, they got something cooking there. And it's the same thing for Atlanta. Trae Young and Murray both struggled shooting, 7 of 33. So which stars are going to bounce back in this spot here? Knicks, one of the best against the spread teams and straight up record on the road last season. Atlanta, typically a bit bigger of a home edge, but if you look at it, hey, Knicks went 24-17 on the road. Hawks went 24-17 at home. So nothing too drastic there. They split 4 meetings last year, but hey, Knicks, 3 of the last 4 meetings in Atlanta came out with the win. And that would be where the look is there with the Knicks on the road yet again today.
Yeah, I'm just watching this game go down to pick. Guys, by the way, as Ben's talking, you see I'm monitoring the other screens. So this is another game we gave out yesterday afternoon. As a matter of fact, we're going to give you guys all the games today. Can't do this all the time because, like I said, we do have members that pay for the info. But we're going to give out all the games. Just want to show you what we do that nobody can do. So Nick's one of our bets. Again, gave this out maybe about 1 o'clock, Ben, would you say? I know we gave out the Spur game immediately as soon as DraftKings came up. Maybe gave this one out a little bit later on. Took the Knicks +2. This game is down to pick them now. To talk about the game a little bit, you've got 2 teams that played on opening night that their stars were absolutely horrible. Brunson and Randall couldn't hit the ocean against the Celtics, but at least that was the Celtics. As I had mentioned prior, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray go to Charlotte, not one of your powerhouse teams, and they couldn't make a bucket. So all 4 stars, 2 on each team, did not play good basketball. But even with that said, Knicks were right there. Actually had a lead in the fourth quarter with the Celtics. Knicks are just the better team here. Knicks were better on the road last year. Atlanta, usually a good home team, not as good at home last year. We took Knicks +2, game sitting at pick 'em now. One of the other games that we bet, and this is what we bet this morning, we told you we took the Nuggets +6, but also went under in this game. And let me just kick that back, Ben. Why'd we go under in this game? 7 of the last 8 meetings between the 2 teams, this is Grizzlies and Nuggets, have gone under. All 3 games last year went under with an average of 204, with no game going over 210. You saw the Grizzlies struggle on offense, 111-103 game with the Pelicans in their opener, in their home opener. Expect more of the same. Expect this to be the Grizzlies trying to grind it out, slow down the pace. So we took the +6 and the under. We went under 224.5, and we absolutely destroyed that total. That total now down to 220.
Yep. Next matchup here is another playoff revenge spot. A lot of those going on today. Celtics and Miami. Obviously, Heat pulled it out in 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Boston, this is going to be the home opener. They pull out a tight one there against the Knicks. Porzingis looked really good in the debut, scoring 30. But the bench depleted. They traded it all away, and it showed. Just 12 points from the bench there in that first game. The starters playing heavy minutes. How much can that continue? Miami, we talked about it already. Big lead against Detroit, fell apart. And Tyler Hero, in his return, shot 7 of 24. Pretty brutal shooting performance. They're going to need him to be more efficient. Last 4 games of the Eastern Conference Final all went under, averaging 204 points per game. That's the lean on the total here, definitely. You have Miami played a low-scoring game in their first game. So did Boston. And then you look at the matchup history, it all adds up to lower numbers here. And then as far as the side, I mean, playoff revenge for Boston's home opener with the new studs and Holiday and Porzingis in town. I expect Boston to really get up for this game. Last year, Boston got out to a phenomenal start on the season, regressed a little bit as the year went on. But in the phenomenal start, they took care of business against Miami in the front half of the season. Heat got them back in the back half of the season. And this year, with Miami coming off a little bit of a finals run hangover, I would expect Boston to get up for this game. So numbers pretty spot on, but I definitely think the spot on the side is the Celtics in this one, and can only look at the under on the total.
As Ben said, some playoff return matches, revenge matches, and these are Game 7 matches. Heat beating the Celtics, and also Golden State beating Sacramento. That's the last game of the night. 8 points, 8.5 points. That line now, that's right where it belongs. 8.5. As Ben was talking about, we do lean to the under. We'll see what happens in that one. But when you get a lower total, just tough to get those 9 and 10 point covers. Miami, like I said, I think more or less their first game got off, did what they wanted to do with Detroit, just fell asleep with maybe their eye on this one. Celtics had a little fight on their hands at the Garden. Porzingis, 38 minutes. Played great, but you're not going to get 38 minutes out of Porzingis night in and night out. So you're going to have to what you can if you want to see him on the IR. But as Ben said, not a deep bench. And then they've had a day off to recover, short trip back home from New York to Boston, while Miami makes the trek up, obviously from Miami. I think the number here is right around where it should be. Give a little playoff revenge, but not jumping out of my. I got a ton of better bets than this one.
Yeah, and then we talked about playoff revenge there for the Celtics as a whole, but even Drew Holiday, he took out Milwaukee as well, and he was a part of that. So even him, newcomer, he has a little revenge in his mind as well.
I saw the stat. Drew, I believe the Knicks shot 3 for 15 when covered by Drew Holiday, and that's that's what this guy means to any team. So what Milwaukee picks up with Lillard, if you guys watched Lillard's last night, nice start getting 39 to your career there. But you don't get that D that Holiday gives you. You know, Holiday, Giannis, and Lopez. Lopez was a second all-team defense last year also. So take Holiday off that squad. He's what they need, the Celtics. Look, Celtics, when they had this successful run 2 years ago at Golden State, they did it with D. They fell away from that. That's when they had Smart, and Smart wins the Defensive Player of the Year. They're going to need that here. Really don't need it as much against Kyle Lowry, who was held scoreless in his opener. This guy was done last year. We've talked about, look, they got rid of their starting backcourt. Well, if you want to call Vincent a starter, but they got rid of Vincent and Struss, two main pieces of their backcourt. Just going to be hard pressed with Lowry in that backcourt. So yeah, Celtics or nobody, but just not jumping out of my chair to lay 8.5 points.
Then you have the Raptors at the Bulls. Raptors got us. That was one of our winners on Wednesday. They get it done against Minnesota. Schroeder looked nice in his return. Scored 22 there in the debut there for Toronto. Then you have this Bulls team blown out by OKC, lost by 20 points there. They allowed the 49% from three. Brutal defense. A lot of issues on the team already. They had arguments at halftime, players meeting afterwards. So a lot going on. We'll see how much they sorted it out. They do have success in this matchup. They are 5-0 straight up and against the spread in Chicago. The last 5 meetings there against the Raptors. Lean here to the Bulls just with that matchup history. Don't love the spot with all the issues they had night one. So lean ever so slightly. I will say, though, I'm hoping Toronto wins this game. Chicago absolutely owns the Pistons, and with their issues in game one, they lose tonight at home to Toronto. Would love them tomorrow in a get-right spot against the Pistons.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this one right now. It's Toronto looking for a little revenge, getting knocked out in the playing game, getting knocked out at home. Chicago's got some making up to do after that ugly loss against Oklahoma City. But Toronto's going to come in here with this one. And who do they have next? They also want revenge, yes. But who they got next? They got Philly next. That's where their coach went. So a lot of things going on. Toronto was ugly shooting the ball. They just got in an ugly game with Minnesota. We liked it. We had Toronto in that one. Expect more of the same. So there's another lean for me to the under in this one. Haven't made a bet, but it's a lean to the under. I think the number's right where it should be, with a little bit of a lean towards Toronto for that playoff revenge. But again, not a bet.
Then we have Rockets at San Antonio, and this game is the epitome of what we are going to be doing to DraftKings all season long. This line opened up plus 1.5 for the Spurs yesterday. We sent this bet out at noon Eastern, and now that thing is high as 2.5 and 3 across the board. All threes actually across the board, even going higher than that. So 4.5 point move already on the game, and that's what it's like to do betting with John Massa in the NBA season. Going to get a massive edge. And let's just talk about it. Rockets looked horrible, absolutely horrible against Orlando. Nobody scored over 14 points. They were blown out by 30 points. They were NBA worst 8-33 on the road last year. This is going to be their second straight road game. Spurs second straight home game. If you guys saw the crowd for San Antonio, I mean, there's just new life in the air since the big three left. And, things were kind of looking a little bit dull there for a couple of years. And now San Antonio has life again. So home edge, bit bigger for the Spurs this season. Wembanyama looked terrific for the few minutes he played. He was battling foul trouble. This is going to be a great game for him to get rhythm, a great game for the Spurs as a whole to get a first win. And Rockets can't be favored over anybody on the road. You have going to be interesting. I mean, Rockets' best player right now is pretty much Sengun, but what is he going to do against a 7-4 Wembanyama? It's going to be a little bit difficult there defensively as well. So lines crushed, John. Absolutely. Spurs have had success in this matchup. They end of last year, you know how they sat a guys a lot. They were sitting half the roster half the night. They lost 2 in a row to the Rockets. Prior to that, though, they won 5 straight.
Look, this is simple, guys. It's Houston's the worst team in the NBA. They're on the road for the second consecutive game. Yep. San Antonio showed a little life against Dallas. Their defense is defenseless, but it's their second home game in a row. There's just no way that Houston could be the favorite. Look, DraftKings, listen to me. Just pay me. I'll make the line for you. We're going to annihilate you. We're going to annihilate you all season long. Guys, you can listen, like I said, to some of these guys that call themselves cappers, just betting the biggest favorites in a money line parlay, or you can find a guy that could give you the games 36 hours ahead of time. We took 1.5. San Antonio is now a 3-point favorite. If the guys in my chat are listening, what did I say? This game I make at least San Antonio 3. Guys, there's nobody better than me at this stuff. I'm not just boasting. This is what I've done for over 40 years. What else can I say? The game is supposed to be 3. Now, the Rockets might win this game. This is our first 5-unit love bet. Why is it a 5-unit love bet? Because of the difference of the line. That's all that we bet, guys, is numbers, okay? So if we make the game at least 3, which I made it actually a little bit higher than that, we could take 1.5. That's enough room for a 5-unit love bet. This is another one. We just absolutely buried the line. The numbers are there. Could the Rockets still win? They absolutely could. But if you want to beat the line every single day, is the line going to go against us here or there or total? Absolutely. By the end of the year, we're going to crush it, and you're going to have the best of it. And that's what betting with an edge is all about.
Yeah, 4.5 point move, guys. That's a drastic move. I'm going to pull up right now how much it would be to buy that back down to plus 1.5, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of the value it is. Let's see here if it'll let me.
That's why I got guys crying. We don't. You got to be a VIP member to get it. It's guys, one game like this. If you're $100 better, it's worth becoming a member to get the VIP notifications.
Yeah, so if you guys were to go onto DraftKings right now, I'm going to pull it up on the screen and share it for you. Plus 1.5 is now minus 180. I've seen people in the past when we talk about buying, when we talk about beating the number, I could just buy the points. Why pay an extra 70 cents in juice when you can just bet it early and beat the line? That's what it's all about. Plus 1.5 is now worth minus 180 to the books. And if you guys bet in that prior, I know a lot of people see this in the past, some of our members, you get offered a plus money cash out before the game starts. You get offered profit in a cash out before the game starts because of an edge that big.
I would say the deal's worth it, right, Ben? $2.99 a month, $99 a week. Look, again, I hear some of these guys, and I got to call them clowns. They'll come on and say, what's the difference if you're buying the number if you win the game? Well, Ben just showed you the difference. Now, instead of laying 110, you got to lay 180. So you're not going to win as much for your same $1,000 or $100 or $25 bet. The more the line moves, the more points you buy, the less you win. That's how it costs you money. But anyway, enough about that. Do yourself a favor. Just become a member. We beat the line in every single game that we've bet so far this year. Every single game. Well, come on, let's go to the next one, Ben.
Yep, Nets at Dallas. You have a interesting look here as far as the Kyrie Irving versus the former team. Obviously, his Brooklyn stay did not go so hot. How about Cam Thomas off the bench for the Nets, 36 points. After the trade of Kyrie and KD last year, before, Bridges and Cam Johnson, everyone got settled in. It was kind of a Cam Thomas show for a little bit, a couple of 40-point games, little question marks, whether we're going to see that continue. Off the bench, 36 points, and Ben Simmons, 10 boards, 9 dimes. If Ben Simmons can provide that kind of, production, I see him as a more athletic Draymond Green. So many people give him hate because, heading into his career, he was compared to LeBron James. Well, don't compare to LeBron James. Compare to Draymond Green. He rebounds, he defends better than anyone, and he's going to facilitate, and he has a lot of shooters alongside him. So give him credit for that. Dallas, yes, they pulled out a shaky win against San Antonio, but the defense, horrible. Nets come in here with a better defense. No Claxton, though. That's a bit of a concern here. No size here. Bit of a bigger number on this game with the Claxton news of him being out. Lean ever so slightly to Brooklyn in this matchup. Just Dallas last year at home couldn't get it done. NBA worst, 12, 26, and 3 against the spread. I am not laying this number with them. Nets are nobody.
Yeah, Nets are nobody in this one. First game at Brooklyn. Besides Bridges, Von Vex basically split the minutes between 10 guys. So he ran basically 2 units out there, and Cam Thomas was out there at the end of the game. These two teams now, Dallas has won 6 of the last 7 meetings. But the last 5 meetings have all been decided by 4 points or less. These two teams play it down to the wire all the time. You got Kyrie Irving coming over from the Nets. You got Dinwiddie going back to Dallas. So you got a little thing. This will be a hotly contested game, as Ben said. Dallas just doesn't cover at home. Claxton's out. Who's going to make them pay for that at center for Dallas, though? They're a god team. They're Kyrie and Luka. Luka starts with a triple-double against a defenseless San Antonio team. Plus 6 points. It's Brooklyn and nobody, but I don't have a bet in this one, but it is Brooklyn and nobody.
Yeah, it could be worth a halftime look. If Dallas comes out hot there, we'll see what you get. Then we have Clippers at Utah. This one, obviously a bit of a different Jazz team now, but they've had a bit of a rivalry, met in the playoffs a few times last couple of years. Jazz, a lot of success in the matchup, 5 of the last 7 meetings. But then you look closer in Utah, 11-1 straight up, 10-2 against the spread the last 12 meetings there. Clippers, they look good against Portland, but they own Portland. Portland's a lot of new pieces early on. Utah, they did not look good against Sacramento, but hey, Sacramento's up there, top teams in the West. So both these teams, we'll see what we get here in a truer test. But with that matchup history, this is just complete ownership for the Jazz. Could only look there. I will say, I said it before the season, and I'm going to back it up again. Russell Westbrook, this is the best fit for him in the NBA, and it looked like it night one. Shot over 50% from the field, took a very few, only 3 turnovers, 13 assists. That's the most efficient version of Russell Westbrook we've seen in a long time.
Westbrook's emergence, PG and Kawhi healthy.
Yep.
This is easily a top 4 team in the West with those parameters. Westbrook and PG and Kawhi being healthy. How long can they stay healthy? That's the question right here. But this Clipper team, we talk about it every year. They're one of the top teams in the West, one of the top teams in the West. Again, as I said, if LeBron is only going to play 28 to 30 minutes, which he did not last night, by the way, we didn't
would have gone halftime on if I knew LeBron was going to play the entire fourth quarter.
Exactly. I spoke with Ben at halftime. He took over at the nighttime, and I asked him what he thought about the Laker game, and he didn't like the way the Lakers looked. And we're under the impression that LeBron's going to be held to this 28 to 30 minutes. Well, he plays the entire fourth quarter. That's the only reason they get past Phoenix last night. If he really is going to play 28 to 30 minutes, I want to put the Clippers ahead of the Lakers and drop the Lakers down into the 4th spot. But getting back to the subject of the Clippers tonight, This team's phenomenal when healthy. They crushed Portland. The final score wasn't even. They were blowing them out. I think the fourth quarter was Portland won by double digits, and they still covered by big time. But that's a team that they absolutely own, like Ben said. Now they come to a place where they don't win. They just don't win in Utah. And guys, the trend is your friend. Just remember that. So their last, what are we looking at here? Their last
12 trips there.
So they're right there. I'm looking at the wrong one. Their last 12 trips, they're 11-1. But the last 4, Jazz have won by an average of 21.5 points a game. So Jazz looked terrible. Sack went and beat the pants off them the other night. Clips look great. But this is the NBA. Tough to be a road favorite, especially at a place where you don't win. The last game, we talked about it. Minnesota does not win north of the border. They just don't win at Toronto. Lost 18 of their last 19 trips. We won that one, game 1. Jazz are nobody.
We have Magic at Portland. Magic looked phenomenal against Houston, forced 18 turnovers. They won that thing by 30, but it's their Houston Rockets. So take it with a grain of salt there. Then you have Orlando's road struggles last year, just 14-27 straight up. Now they're a road favorite in this one. Portland, obviously, we just touched on it. Didn't look great against the Clippers. Clippers owned them there. I got to call out DeAndre Ayton. I mean, come on. I get it when he was in Phoenix, right? You know, there was a lot of moving parts there. There's a lot of other pieces. But you go to Portland, you know, this is supposed to be one of the prizes of this Dame trade, and you have an opportunity to make this his team, more or less. Obviously, Scoot Henderson, you know, Brogdon, some nice pieces there. They have a lot of young youth that they're looking into in the future. But Ayton has a chance to be the guy. He's played in NBA Finals. He has that experience. 4 points off 4 shots in game 1. Unacceptable. Needs to be more aggressive here tonight against Orlando. We'll see if that's the case. But another line he crushed on. Took it at 3.5 down to 2 here on this one. And just big cross-country flight here for Orlando Magic.
Overreactions, guys. Again, talked about that like with Denver. Just an overreaction. Yeah, they look great. They're the world champions. Denver, Milwaukee right now, Boston, they're right up there. Those 3 teams, they're in the conversation as the best team in the NBA. Yep. They look great against the Lakers. Memphis looks terrible. It's the overreaction. They're not a 6-point favorite on the road at Memphis. Could they win by 6? They could win by 16. But that line should not be 6. More of the same here. Portland looked awful going to a Clipper team that absolutely owns them. Magic, they get the luxury of playing the worst team in the league, the Rockets. But as Ben said, 3,000-plus mile trip from the southeast to the northwest of the part of the country. Expect Portland have a better showing. Their second game together. Look, a lot of different parts coming together. But there is some nice parts there. Brogdon, Williams coming over from the Celtics. Mm-hmm. The rookie looks nice. Ayton is a player. They still have Grant from last year. They have some nice pieces there. I like Orlando's team. I think Orlando's going to challenge for one of the last playoff spots in the East. No. But on the road, give me the home team after getting pretty much embarrassed for 3 quarters. Played a little catch-up in the 4th. But give me the home team for more than a possession. Remember, 3, it's got to be a 2-possession game. I think Portland gets the job done. We took 3.5. Oh, the sharp guys must think so also, because that line is down to 2. Remember, guys, squares, the public they do not move numbers. Sharp guys move numbers. We're taking 3.5. We're taking it yesterday. That game now down to 2. Just moved there this morning as we were doing the podcast.
Last game on the card, another playoff revenge thing here. Warriors at Sacramento. Last year in the opening round, Warriors take them to 7 games, pulling out with a Curry 50-point performance. And obviously, Sac has this game circled on the calendar a little bit. Just to rub things in, make matters worse. They met in the preseason. Curry hits a game winner on them in the preseason. So, in case that playoff revenge wasn't fresh in their mind, it certainly is now. Golden State here. No Draymond Green for a second straight game. Talked about it all season last year. And as long as the trend continues, we're going to talk about it all season this year. Not the same team on the road. 12-29 against the spread. Worse in the NBA. 11-30 straight up. Granted, this is just going across the bay. So not a true road game, but still something there back in the mind. We'll keep that, bringing up that trend as the season continues. And then Sacramento looked really good against Utah in game 1. Golden State really didn't shoot well. I mean, this spot is all Kings 100%. Numbers a bit steep there, but hey, Sacramento or nobody. Big playoff revenge here, crosstown rivals.
3 is the line, and 3 is my number on the game. Take into account, yes, the revenge, the whole bit. This is just Sacramento is the little brother. Like for years, the Clippers were the little brother to the Lakers. Clippers have turned that around now, and they pretty much own the Lakers. Sacramento hasn't done that. Can they do that? Can they get that revenge for that Game 7? If not now, when? Golden State was putrid. We were on Golden State opening night. They had their worst shooting night at home in the Steve Kerr era. It was absolutely awful. Couldn't make a shot. That was a game there for the taking against Phoenix that they absolutely blow. Come here now, Game 2. Go there without Dre. Sacramento looked really good, as Ben said, in Utah. In a game that I actually leaned Utah. I didn't make it a bet, but I thought Sac would have their eye on Game 2 for the playoff revenge. They went there, took care of business. Sac looks good. Remember, they were the 3 seed out west last year. I think they overshot their mark a little bit. We'll see what they got today. I make the Game 3, though. I usually love to be on that playoff revenge. Just can't do it in today's 2 games. 2 big favorites. Celtics being a bigger favorite at 8.5. Just don't want no part of that. And Golden State as a 3-point dog in this series. I couldn't lay it. I would need to lay 2 or less to want to go with the playoff revenge and go with Sacramento.
That's the NBA slate, guys. As you see, we have a lot of action out today. Give you guys a lot of insight where we're at. Obviously, most of those numbers, pretty much all the numbers, are gone, so you can't get those same prices. But well, sure enough.
And don't ask me yet. San Antonio is not a bet at -3. We took them at +1.5. So don't go to Instagram, or if you remember, if you missed it, you don't have a DraftKings account, I don't know what to tell you what to do. Or here's what we do. We tell you what we're betting. We tell you if you have a DraftKings account, get the VIP service. As soon as I send out the notification, make your bet, the lines will move. Again, is a game going to bite us in the ass once in a while with a late-breaking injury? Absolutely. Guys, it's for the long haul. Be a member over the season. You're going to make money. So what I do want to say, we get the World Series game tonight. We gave you the dog. We had 4 bets out yesterday. I added the Nuggets when they went up to 6 that we talked about this morning, and that total this morning. That's 6 NBA bets. 5 NFL bets for the weekend, and I'm looking at another one there. Should be a great weekend. We don't do the podcast, remember, on the weekend. So to get the rest of the information, guys, got to become a member.
Yep, and as soon as we're done with this, we're going to already be waiting for those DraftKings lines to pop up. They'll come out in the next half hour to an hour. We'll be looking at those lines for tomorrow. So by the time you guys are seeing this, we'll more than likely have a bet, or at least reads we're looking at, waiting to send out depending on line movement. So make sure you guys sign up for that. Real quick, going to give you guys a college football free bet for tomorrow. We've been killing these 7-2 on the Friday free bets. Let's go for 8-2 at 80% here. Looking at Ohio State at Wisconsin. Obviously, Ohio State coming off a letdown spot here. They get the big win over Penn State there. They look pretty good. Defensively looked phenomenal, and that's part of why we're looking at the under in this matchup. In prior years, Ohio State's just been known as an offensive juggernaut. They've had multiple stud wide receivers, O-linemen, quarterbacks coming to the NFL. We've seen that with Stroud. We've seen that with Fields. We've seen that with all kinds of talent. This year, defense takes a massive step forward. 2 years ago, when Oklahoma State was a top 10 team in the college football, their defensive coordinator, Knowles, leaves Oklahoma State. They were a top 10 team because they had the best defense in college football. Leaves there, goes to Ohio State, and now what do you know? 2 years later of recruiting and building, this is looking like one of the best defenses in college football. Wisconsin, very good defense as well. More importantly, very run-heavy offense, rushing for over 180 yards a game, and their best thing they can do is keep the ball in their hands on the ground, keeping that clock ticking up during this one. This matchup, they haven't met since 2019, but again, they did meet last year. Prior to that was 2019 in the Big Ten Championship. They met last year. Ohio State blew them out 52-21 at home in Ohio. The last 3 meetings, though, outside of Ohio, they did some of those in Indianapolis because of Big Ten Championship, some of those in Wisconsin. They've all been under 2 touchdowns, which is what this number is today. But I'm looking at the under here in this matchup. Ohio State's last 4 games going under, averaging 41.3 points per game. 2 of Wisconsin's last 3 going under, averaging just 34.3 points per game. And 2 of the last 3 meetings going under as well. This is a letdown spot here for Ohio State. I'm still expecting to pull this one out, but I think it's going to be hard fought. This is Wisconsin's game of the year. I think points will be hard to come by on the under 45.5, 2 units for the Friday free bet, going for 8-2 this week, John. And a lot of bets out for the weekend, like you said. Got some NBA lines to start looking at for Saturday.
Yeah, we're right back in the thick of the NBA, guys. So as I said yesterday, I've turned the college back over to Ben. I'll just be monitoring some stuff, and I will be putting my ratings up. So if you're How to Beat the Bookie member, guys, you should be a How to Beat the Bookie member just for our ratings. I mean, just go down the college football card and the NFL card, and you can basically make the lines yourself. Same will be true. We'll get the NBA ratings up tomorrow, first thing tomorrow. We've just been so overloaded. World Series, college, NFL, NBA. So as I said, I'll remove myself now from the college football. Still be making the ratings. My ratings will be the best ratings, bar none. Take any computer program you want. My ratings will be the best. Home and away. Nobody rates them this way. They give you a generic number. It's not the way handicappers rate games. Go look. Look, it's worth the price just to take a look at my ratings. And let's go, Ben. Let's keep it hot. Our college football between me and Ben, we're what, 8-2-1 the last couple of weeks?
Each 8-2, yeah, 16-4-1 combined the last 2-3 weeks. So that's pretty good there. Pretty good.
That's not too bad. Killing NFL, killing college. Baseball's been good to us, and I mean we're off to a ridiculous start. Now it's just win the game. 5-unit NBA bet, our first love bet of the NBA season. Spurs, we took plus 1.5. You couldn't get that number today, guys. If that number moved to 2 by yesterday, by this morning, it was already San Antonio 2. It's gone even higher now to 3. There's only one way to beat the numbers the way I do. Become a member.
A little bit longer episodes now with NBA back, guys. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. And we try to, when we get this in under about 45 minutes, this is, a full week's worth of work, information, all try to jam packed into 45 minutes. So if you guys tuned in every day, please like, comment, subscribe below. Help us grow this thing. Check out the app, check out the website. John, let's stay hot and let's make some money.
Let's make some money.